Hello, my name's Lonner Holden. I live in San Rafael, California. I was introduced to RBC Life a little over a year ago by my friend Lauren Campbell. And I used some of the products for a little while, but the most incredible thing I've experienced recently is with the stem kind, which I've been on for only about 6 weeks. I have suffered from post-traumatic stress from a lot of trauma in my youth. Big earthquake and a lot of accidents and just a lot of events when I was young. And it's kept me pretty much in a hypervigilant state in one way or another, chronically, for my whole life. Until I started taking StemKine. And in the last 6 weeks of taking StemKine, I've noticed two things. Well, actually more than two things. For one, my senses are more acute. My vision is getting better. My hearing is improving, and my fingernails I have to trim every week, which might seem all like kind of small things in a way, but I just keep noticing that things in a very subtle way for me keep improving. And that's pretty dramatic for me. I'm a pretty healthy guy. I work out. I've done several years of distance trail running and bicycling and kind of triathlon events and that kind of thing. So I already, in some ways, don't feel like I have that far to travel to be healthier. It's not true. StemKine has really made me much more aware in the last 6 weeks of just how much deeper my whole health can be. Not just these things I just mentioned about my hearing, my vision and my nails, but also my whole sense of my demeanor has changed. I'm much less reactive to situations of stress. I've noticed that I have, when I'm around people that are stressful and reactive, I'm much more like a duck and it's just water off my back. And this really got my attention because, when one is experiencing post-traumatic stress chronically for decades, you just kind of get used to your reactivity and not so aware of it. And now I'm becoming aware of it because it's not there so much. I'm noticing it by its absence. And it really just occurred to me this morning that's what's happening for me is like this deeper sense of rest and openness to the world. I don't feel like I have to defend myself, and that whole kind of post-traumatic vigilance that is associated with post-trauma is fading away. And it's quite remarkable, I have to say. And so I feel calmer around people. I feel more open to people. I feel less isolated. I feel more clear about when I want to go and be by myself. And I feel like my whole relationship, my psychology is changing. And the only thing that's changed in my life in the last 6 weeks is taking StemKine. So that's one thing I want to say about this remarkable product. I'll make a general statement here, and I'm going to risk making a general statement because I'm in the health field and health care, and I work in the healing arts and have been working full-time in that for 20 years. So I feel a little qualified to say what I'm going to say here, which is simply that when one works on a deeper state of health at the core of one's being in one's bone marrow where stem cells are manufactured, everything that comes from there affects everything else in a person's being. And I've seen this through people I've known who've had high-dose chemotherapy and bone marrow transplants, including my wife, the effect on her resiliency or lack of it because of the high-dose chemotherapy, and her increased sense of readiness in her life since having those powerful drugs, which were very important for her at the time. But I now have her on StemKine, and I can't wait to see how she's feeling in the next 6 weeks. About RBC Life, I would just like to say that I've never been around a product or product line that had a sincerity in the community around that, around the products and around the marketing, that where the products were not an end in themselves. They were a means to an end of people connecting to their own deeper holistic health and well-being, and connecting to each other in a deep, sustainable way. And it's a really remarkable thing. You just don't see that in a corporate world like this very often. It's really rare, and it's a beautiful thing. So thank you.